Hey guys, welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. So today I have a Wip Chat for you guys. It's the Sugar Plum Fairy by Mandy Mancino, and it's 56 by 89. Now, if you guys don't know, a Wip Chat stands for Work in Progress, and that basically means that you can drag you can grab out your whips, like, if you're doing diamond painting, crochet, cross stitch, what have you, or if you're doing chores, driving, just wanting to listen, you can just listen to me ramble along. So let's get started, shall we? So I hope everyone's been doing all right. I've had a week. It's been quite a week, and let me start pulling out the drills that I need. I've already got everything set up because kids were going crazy earlier, and I didn't want them knocking all my drills down. So I've been saving like the black and white, since I've been using a lot of that just in their own little containers and just putting them up to the side. But yeah, it's been quite a week. If you guys haven't noticed, there are some empty spaces all over this canvas. I ordered some ABs. Unfortunately, it's supposed to come out today, but I don't know if it's going to. I saw the mail lady kind of sit by and deliver a package, and I'm like, where's mine? Hello, bye-bye, So hopefully, I'll get it sometime today. But I have all these empty spaces because I'm planning to like put white highlights on the wings right here, and basically little highlights in her hair. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put them, so I have it emptied. And then of course I want to decorate her flowers and the butterfly sets all over the place. Anyway, it's been a week. So as you guys know, on Wednesday we gotten our booster and our flu shots all at the same time. We weren't allowed to have it on one arm, so had to get flu shot on one arm. So I put it on my left arm, because everyone hits this arm all the time on left. And I learned my mistake from last time. The first time I got my COVID shot, I put it on the left arm because I was told that it's going to be sore and all that fun stuff. And I'm like, okay, I don't want my right arm to be in a lot of pain. No. Everyone loves hitting that arm. So I decided just to put the flu on that one, COVID on the right arm, and everything was a-okay for the most part. I started playing Animal Crossing again. So what has happened is my daughter, she has her own island, and I'm on my husband's Switch, and I'm playing Animal Crossing on that instead because he's being really kind about letting me play on his Switch. I've been trying to win these Switch giveaways so that way I have my own, so I'm not bothering him on his. But he's been really, really nice about it, especially since he hasn't played on it lately. The new Final Fantasy expansion has come out, so he's been trying to play that, and when he can't get into that, he's been playing other games while he's trying to get into Final Fantasy. So he's like, yeah, sure, you can just play on the Switch. I'm not doing anything with it. So I started playing Animal Crossing. I started up an island. I haven't done any. When I say haven't done any time travel, I started like right after Thanksgiving for my thing, because I wanted to have some time to get set up for the Christmas events that's in there. But I'm now like on December 3rd in the game, and I'm like still plugging along slowly. It's all right. I'm enjoying the game. I missed it so much, and my oldest, she's happy that she gets to have the island to herself now. I did have to tell her the bad news was she had to restart her island because I was the island representative on that island. So if she wanted to progress anything, she's going to have to do it herself. So she restarted the island yesterday. We gotten everything squared up. I have like all the flowers and stuff like that. So when she's ready, I'll trade the flowers back to her. So, but that still sounds all like things are going great, right? Um, but anyway, I had to put up the sewing machine that day. Um, I'm not the best at sewing, and I'm not the best at maintaining things, but I didn't realize that you were supposed to change the needle that often in the sewing machine, and I've been using it for the same needle for the past few months or so. Anyway, the needle was dull and it's been skipping all over the place. So I put the sewing machine up and ordered some new needles so that way I can get them replaced when they came in. I figured I would get a head start on this. Unfortunately, I didn't get as much as a headway as I wanted to because there is a lot of empty spaces and it is killing me. But yeah, I had to do that, and I'm a little sad, but that's okay. Um, but also, my son started complaining that day. I got a bunch of messages from his teacher. He was complaining about the fact that his mask was bothering him, and that it was like his ears were irritating him. And I'm like, okay, because what I did recently is change the ears, the strings that goes around the ears. Oh no, come on. So what I did was change the strings that go around the ears. What I normally did was like this head hair ponytail holder. And that what was going around for their ears instead. This time I went with a smaller string. Yeah, I didn't load that up. And I'm gonna just keep talking while I fix this. What I had to do was I told him I'd just fix it when he get home. So what happened is I had his lanyard tightened behind his ears. He hasn't complained about it since. And I just think that he wasn't just used to the new sensation. He has things about that about that at times. But here's what happens. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, I should correct myself. She left her library book. I don't know how old this library book was, but I'm cleaning up their bathroom. And I'm opening up the drawers, trying to see about what I need to refill. Because, you know, they don't tell me, hey, we're almost out of floss picks. Or, hey, we're almost out of toothpaste. Or, hey, we need actually more toothbrushes. So, I'm checking to see what needs to get replaced, what needs to be renewed. And I find a library book in the drawer. And, oh my God. Last we've turned in library books was like, I don't know if it was a week or 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So I don't know how long that book's been there. But oh man, my husband wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because we're like, how bad's this fine's going to be? So he told me to stay home on that day because he was expecting a very important package and he didn't want anyone to come by and swipe it or because it was supposed to be coming at the time that we were going to pick up the kids. So he's like, I'll drop off the library book. You just stay here and wait. I'm like, okay. He texts me, hey, dropped off the book. There was no fine. I'm like, great. A few minutes later, hey, I'm not going to be able to pick up the kids yet. What? The car battery died. Yeah. And I was just like, okay. And at this point, it was already past 2 o'clock. School gets out at 2:10. I'm in a little bit of a panic, and then I'm like, okay, I'm on the phone with him, and I'm like, wait, my neighbor, they have cars. I'll bug them, and that's what I did. Excuse me. So I was lucky. I ran over to my neighbor's house, and I was like, hey, can you help me? You know, basically what we had to do, and this took so long. So what we had to do was her husband was picking up the kids, their kids, and then he was coming in as we were about to go, and we kind of did this like weird. It was anyway. We went over to the library with both trucks, and what was supposed to happen was one of them was supposed to stay and help jumpstart the car, and the other one was supposed to help me go and just pick up the kids so they wouldn't be there forever. Instead, both of us just stayed there. And it was fine. So we eventually, it takes a while, but we eventually get the car started, and my husband refuses to turn the car off just in case it dies again. So what we did was he parks in front of the school. I run in. I apologize to the principal. I'm just because at this point it is over an hour. And the kids were worried about us. My husband did call the school and let them know that we are going to be late. I'm apologizing, like, I'm so sorry. And the principal's like, it's okay, you guys aren't normally late, it's fine. But still, I tried my best not to be late. So things should be fine. And he dropped us off at home and went straight to a place that he normally goes to get his oil change and everything. So that's what he did. He went there, got the battery replaced, got an oil change since it needed, made them look over everything else to see if everything was fine. They said it was, foreshadowing, and that we should be okay. And we're like, great. Okay, we're, a little bit of money out, but that's okay. We're still good for Christmas. Everything's fine. Everything's great. A little bit of a grumble, but we're okay. So we spend the next few days. So like on Thursday, my husband and I both felt like we got hit by trucks from the shots. I've to talk about the shots a little bit. So the last 2 times I've gotten my COVID shot, I didn't feel a thing. It was like, oh, that was it? Like how my kids would say. And it's just, it felt okay. No pain until the next day. This one felt like it was, you can feel it. Like the needle was definitely a lot thicker than the last time. The flu shot actually went in a lot nicer. So, and I actually started bleeding from my COVID shot area. So, oh boy. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this is on the next day, it's just like my arm was on fire. I was in so much pain. My joints were achy, and I was just like, I was miserable. I felt like I got hit by a truck. My husband felt like he got hit by a truck. And on top of that, the kids this entire week, last week, they've been making a big deal about everything. They've been making a production about everything. Like, sometimes I think they're hypochondriacs because they'll hear my husband and I talk about our aches and pains, and suddenly they're in pain. They're hurting. So one of the things was a genuine complaint. My oldest started talking about how her jaw was hurting. I'm like, well, that's strange. And I'm looking at her, and I noticed there's very slight swelling on her left jaw near her ear, and I'm trying to feel around like, okay, is it your teeth that hurt? No, her teeth's not hurting. Does your throat hurt? No. And I came to the conclusion it's a swollen lymph node. She might have an ear infection or something like that. Something happened to cause it to be like that. I'm like, okay, I'll give you some medicine. So that's what I did. I gave her some medicine. I told her to take care of it. If it gets worse, to let us know, because if it did, I was going to call the doctor and see if we needed to get antibiotics or anything like that. And on top of this whole thing, the next 2 days, my husband had to do classes. He had to do a training thing early in the morning, so he couldn't just go to bed. Normally what we try to do at times is we drop off the kids, we come home, and we take a small nap. And it's wonderful. It's great. But he couldn't do that. He took a small nap on the first day, but it wasn't like it was a really small nap compared to what he normally did, because he had to wake up like within the next 40 minutes. And he had to go and start doing his whole thing. And I was worried because I was like, okay, I hope the oldest doesn't call us because he's training for 4 hours. She didn't call, luckily. And I'm just like wondering if she's okay, how she's doing. But on top of that, the reason why I say my kids are sometimes hypochondriacs is that it's like, my youngest daughter, she has started going underneath the covers. Like, so where you sleep at the head of the bed, she started to sleep at the foot of bed. And she's like ducking underneath the covers. She has pillows. She has that big stuffed unicorn. And my husband's just like told her, well, be careful, if you can't breathe, make sure you get out from, underneath there. She's taken this to, if I can't breathe, let everyone know. And now she's like, I can't breathe. I'm like, you're breathing right now. So apparently she's gone to the nurse that day a few times going, I can't breathe. Or I'm having trouble breathing. And the nurse had to, just tell her to take deep breaths. Then my son that morning before we go to school, he's all like, my foot's hurting. I'm like, okay, let's look at your toes. Let's look at your feet. What's going on? Because I'm at this point, I'm like, I'm in pain. I'm hurting. I just wanted to go to sleep. And, oh man. So what happened was, let's see. He needed to have his toenails trimmed. That's all. That was it. I'm like, yeah, you need to let me know when these things happen. Like I say, my kids, they don't tell me when they need anything done. It's like either my oldest and my youngest, they bite their nails and just chomp at them or pick at them. And then my son, he lets his nails grow, but he doesn't tell me, hey, they need to be trimmed. And it's like, guys, don't do any of these things. Just come to me. I'll trim them. I got the tools. I can do it. And it's frustrating. Hold on a second. All right. So where was I? I don't know when the Falcon 9 space launch happened, but it was either Thursday or it was Friday. Either day, I didn't get to see it. It was supposed to be able to be seen from the East Coast, but I wasn't able to see it at all. So it was a little sad. But that's okay. That's okay. I think it was on a Friday. Only reason because I think I decorated. Maybe no, it was Thursday because I only put up the mailbox magnet. See, I'm losing track of my days. But yeah, it's just like I said, this whole week the kids been making a production out of everything. They've been making a big deal. I don't know what's gotten into them because it feels like they've been sluggish. They've been just taking their sweet time. It's like, guys, we gotta go. But yeah, on Friday, I think it was the youngest. She spilled her milk. All the kids have a habit of doing something like this, where they spill something, and then they just stare at it and go, oh no, and just look at it. Do something. If you spill a thing, pick it up. Nope, just gonna stare at it. My husband rushed into action because I was in here getting things ready because normally I'm not sitting here, I'm sitting over there where my computer is, and I'm getting things ready because I have their hair brushing stuff and things like that. He does a lot of the heavy lifting now in the mornings, which I'm like grateful because oh my goodness, that is a lot. So he preps them breakfast since he sleeps downstairs. He wakes up, he preps them breakfast. He gets their tablets into their backpacks, and then he also gets their cups ready. While I wake up, I go to the bathroom, and then I just start getting their clothes organized. I'm waking each and every one of them up. I'm like, and it's funny because the oldest, every time I try to wake her up, she just does this. I'm like, yep, time to get up. The youngest one is the second one that I go to wake up. She's normally up, or if she isn't up, she's buried underneath the blankets. Um, so she's of two ways. One, she's all hyped up and ready to start the day, or two, she just wants to go back to bed. And this morning she was actually in the middle for once. She was like awake. She heard my alarm go off, so she was like immediately ready, and she's sitting on the bed. Hi, mommy. Like, did you not go underneath the bed covers? Because I noticed the bed was made. She goes, I slept on top of it. Okay, well, tonight you're gonna have to sleep underneath the covers because it's gonna be cold. And that's another thing about the weather. I'll get into that because I want to talk about my son. My son, he's hilarious. I tried to wake him up, and he's the hardest one to wake up out of all three of them, considering he's the one that wakes me up in the morning on the weekends, and he likes to wake up early. He's the hardest one to wake up. So I go into his room, I turn on the lights, and he stays still, completely still. So I go in, walk up to his bed, I pull off the covers, I start tickling him, start going, come on, dude, cuddle with him a little bit, trying to get him awake until he finally slides off the bed, plops, and then just not even eyes open, starts doing this hand grabby maneuver towards his dresser. Until he finally gets his clothes, and then he's ready to start the day. But the moment he gets his clothes on and everything, then he's all like, "Hey, mommy, what's going on?" I'm like, that's quite a drastic change the moment you wake up. Like, immediately perks up and just, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, the weather has been all over the place. So today's actually going to be in the 60s. But the last few days, it's been in the 70s, and at one point, it almost hit 80, I think. And I'm just going, okay, where's the fall weather again? And, I would like to be a little colder, not too much, but it's actually nicer weather. It's a lot nicer weather than it was. I am not doing this right. Let's just get this straightened up a little bit. And my husband and I are like prepping for like a cold winter, because sometimes it does get cold here, even though we live in the southeast area. We bought like some space heaters and stuff like that because the rooms do get cold, like the upstairs rooms. And he bought another heater that goes on the wall for my room, because my room also gets cold, and we haven't had curtains and stuff like that yet. But right now, it doesn't look like we might need them just yet. I don't know if we're going to need them at all this whole winter, because it feels like it's going to be a mild winter. Now, I might eat my words, and the kids would love it because they want a white Christmas. And I'm like, I don't want your hopes up. We live in the South. We don't really get snow here. We do get snow. It's just not a lot of it. And it's not enough to really build like a huge snowman. Every time we've built snowmen, they're like about this high, just not too high. There was a year when my oldest, she doesn't remember it though. She was like 2, and there was just so much snow, and I have pictures of her building a snowman with my husband and I, and it was so cute. Aww. And but yeah, she doesn't remember that one. I have a few other pictures of where they're running around trying to catch snowflakes with their tongue, because there was one year where we got home last year, actually. Last year we got home, and it was just been threatening to just look like it would flurry. Like, so we get these tiny little, oh, look, we're snowing. But that day, it's been like threatening to do like a little bit of snow all day, maybe just a little bit. Nothing happened. There was nothing in the forecasting that there was any more snow, that it was just going to get warmer. And then I look out, and there's these big fluffy flakes just coming down. And Oh my god, the kids got so excited. They were so happy. It didn't last very long. They gotten enough of that for just a little bit, but then it melted and they had to definitely go to school the next day. Let's see. We'll do this one. I'm going to hydrate for a minute. All right. So let's see. Friday, we got to put up the decorations around the front yard. I got the projectors out, and it looks pretty nice. There was a couple of times where we're like kind of cursing at things. The new projector I brought, my husband broke, but he fixed it. He's glued like the stake part broke. I told him that you have to actually untwist to move the head up and down, and he said he did that. I'll believe him. But like what happened was something broke on that stake, so he had to go and super glue it. So we're gonna try and see if that works. Cross your fingers because that was expensive. Well, to me, everything's expensive to me. Even diamond painting's expensive to me, but I consider it a worth. But after we were done with the decorations, we're still not done. We were supposed to finish up. We only have one decoration left to put up, and we still haven't done it. But after we did all that stuff, it was worth it to see the kids all happy and excited, and just seeing them love the decorations. So that was really worth it. But yeah, they got to enjoy just looking around on that. But man, Saturday, it's a bit of a doozy day. So we had a lot of plans on Saturday. It kind of was started off with a lazy Saturday, but our plans was we'll go to the library, we'll go to the playground, then we will go to my in-laws' house because they're still on vacation, so we're still checking up. The mail was supposed to be stopped. It didn't stop, so we're just making sure to pick up their mail, put it in their house, let them know everything's all right, look around the house, that kind of stuff. And then after all of that, we were going to go and get lunch. I haven't ate it all that day. I was hungry. So I was like, okay, what are we going to get? What are we going to get? I'm just thinking about that. When we left, it was about, I want to say near 1. And at that point, I'm like, let's not worry about the library. We'll do the library next week. It'll be fine. Because it was almost time for the library to close. I'm like, let's don't worry about that. I'm like, he's like, okay. And I'm thinking he's going to go straight to the playground. No, he goes straight to the gas station and then goes straight to his parents' house. I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll just go to playground after. Because we also were planning to do other stuff late at night. We had a busy day planned. We get to his parents' house and he turns off the car. He doesn't go in the driveway. The windows are down. He parks the car in front of their house. He starts, going into their mailbox, getting all their stuff, going to their house. He's talking to them on the phone. And he finally comes out. He sits down. And I'm on my phone just talking to some friends and stuff like that. And then he's like, well. And I'm like, what? And then he looks at me. And he turns the key. And nothing comes on. All I hear is this whirling, clicking sound. And I'm going, you can't be serious. He's like, yeah. Yeah, the car died again. The car dead. So I don't know what's going on. So it's either one or two things. It could be the alternator, which would mean that's going to be a very expensive cost, or the car battery is faulty. The new battery that we just got replaced not even a few days ago. So we were kind of in a conundrum. So There was a couple of lucky things. It was unlucky, but it was lucky. So, unlucky, car broke down. Lucky, parents' house. Lucky, his dad's car was there. Lucky, his dad's car's keys was there. So, and we didn't park in the driveway. Uh, but windows are down. People could go into the car. So my husband had to go to Walmart and pick up some jumper cables or a jump start or something to get our car back onto the driveway and roll the windows up. And he's like, okay, well, you guys, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I don't want them just sit in the car waiting this whole time. And he goes, okay, how about you guys go into my parents' house? I'll let them know. You keep them entertained. We'll watch TV or something like that. So that's what we did. I kept an eye on those kids. I watched them like a hawk because they scared me. I'm like, you guys better not touch anything of Nana's, you know? So they went to the games. They went to the games that was like underneath the coffee table. My oldest and I, we watched some stuff on YouTube while we're chilling. And the whole time I'm hungry. When are we going to eat? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm thinking, you're hungry? I haven't ate all day, you know? But I can't blame them. But at the same time, I was just like, guys, you ate before we got here, you know? Chill, wait, you know? I'm giving them sips of my fizzy water because I was just like, I didn't want to be messing around, you know, at their house about stuff. And then I'm like, what is going on? Where is my husband? What's taking him so long? Because it was already about an hour. And he told me that he got to the store. He texted me. He finally calls me back. He's cursing up a storm. And I'm like, oh boy. So what has happened was it took him 45 minutes. He goes to Walmart, finds immediately what he needs. Problem is it's locked behind the glass case. So he spends 45 minutes looking around trying to find an employee to help him. And either the employees were helping someone else, so he didn't want to be bothering them, you know, since they're helping someone else, or they were just hiding out. I don't know where. And then it was, let's see, I don't know which came first, but he goes up to customer service. He waits in line, and he says he waits there for 20 minutes, and there's no one there. And then he's calling the phone. No one's picking up the phone. He finally finds someone to, you know, talk to. But then she's all like, "Oh, I can't unlock it." Well, can you get me someone you can? He's like, and she goes, "No, the only person who can is on lunch break right now." You gotta be kidding me. So he leaves the place, he leaves Walmart and starts driving around a little bit, just, you know, well, not driving around about a bit. He says that there were a couple of stuff that was around the area. So he tries to go into those stores because, like, there's a Pep Boys, there's another thing. The Pep Boy says, "Oh, we don't do that anymore." There was like a whole section that was blocked off. According to him, we only do tires and oil changes now. So he's like, that doesn't help me. So, and he walks a bit into a couple of other stores because there's like a bunch of automobile dealer type repair stores around the area, and yeah, no one has the thing he needs. Crazy. Then he goes back to Walmart, seeing if maybe, hopefully, she's back. Can't find anyone again. He's calling on the phone. No one's picking up. It's getting frustrating. And then he just gives up and starts just driving around. He's going to Target. He's going to Best Buy. He's just going down the road, just trying to find a place to get jumper cables or a jump start. Or the point of the matter is, it took him 3 hours just to find a place to get him the thing he needs, just so that we can get the windows rolled up and put the car in the driveway. Because my husband's at this point when I don't trust our car. I don't know if our car is going to even, you know, start when we get back home. I'm going to just ask if it's okay to, borrow my dad's car and use it for the week before while we're trying to figure to get this fixed. And that's what we did. He finally gets back to his parents' house. He gets the car started just enough. So that's why we don't know if it's the alternator or not, because like if it was, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not an expert on cars. I'm not going to claim I am. But anyway, yeah, car gets started. He parks it into the driveway, rolls the windows up, locks everything up in the house, and then we just go home. We pick up Chinese food and we go home. And it's just we're so frustrated. Hold on a minute. All right. I think we're almost at the tail end, so I'm sorry. But yeah, so one of our big plans that day was we have a tradition of seeing the Christmas lights. It's not going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. So what is happening is we're borrowing the car for the week. We talked to his parents. They said it was okay, thankfully. Thank goodness. And they're going to, when they come back next week, we're still going up to their house to check up on everything. I don't know if my husband's going to try and see how the car looks during that whole time. But yeah, what they're going to do is when his parents come back, it's going to probably be sometime next Monday or Tuesday, is we're going to try and see what's going on with the car, if it's a faulty battery, if it's the alternator. If it is the alternator, I'm trying to figure out. We probably can get it repaired depending on how much it's going to cost, but then that means that Christmas is going to be a little bit shorter than what we were expecting. So I'm hoping it's a faulty battery, or like they did, or like what my husband's dad, he mentioned that maybe when they were checking the alternator, when my husband was getting the battery replaced, they didn't hook it up correctly. I'm hoping it's something like that, honestly, than an expensive fix, but keeping your fingers crossed. And then yeah, so the kids were disappointed because we have what we do is we start after the week of Thanksgiving. We bundle up with hot chocolate, and we'll sit in our car sipping hot chocolate while my husband's driving us all over the place. We pick a place and we just go and just look at the lights. We look everywhere. There's a couple of places in here, because we live near the city, that everyone says you have to go for lights, but we don't want to do that because those lights, it takes hours just to go see, just to wait in the line to see them. Not worth it. So what my husband and I do, we just kind of look around to see what would be worth it and what's not going to take so long. And we found a couple of hidden gems over the past few years. There's been a couple of duds too, but there's been some really good houses that are awesome. We usually start off with our neighborhood. We always kind of drive away around our neighborhood, and then we just go around, and it takes us like a few hours. By the time we get back, it's almost 10-11 o'clock at night. The kids are exhausted. We have them go up into their rooms. They have a blast, and it's been always a tradition that we would do every week. And after Thanksgiving, I think we do it like a week or two after Christmas. I'm not sure. I think it's just 1 week after Christmas. And then after that, we're done. But yeah, the kids were really disappointed. I told them that it probably won't be happening this Saturday either, just because we'll still have his dad's car. One, we don't want to be using his dad's car for frivolous use. We're using it right now to take our kids to school and back, and then like tomorrow my kids are getting their booster shots. Not booster shots, sorry. They're getting their second shot. I got my booster shot. They're getting their second shots. So we're going to be driving them there and back. But yeah, let me see. Yes. But yeah, so So they're a little disappointed. I am too, to be honest, but it happens. But I hope we can make it up to them after all of this, and I'm sure that they'll like seeing the lights that are in our neighborhood at least. But yeah, keep your fingers crossed for me, please. But then the funny thing is, so we have 3 kids, right? We drive a minifan, so that way all the kids aren't cramped. His dad drives a normal sized car. And luckily, our youngest kid, the youngest twin, she's tiny, so she's able to fit in the middle seat, and the other 2 sit on the window seats. But it is still cramped in there, so they're all like, it's uncomfortable, and it's not like they're like squeezed in like sardines, but it's more like they're just a lot more closer than they're normally used to. It's going to be interesting when they have to wear coats, because the Saturday they didn't have jackets or anything. They just wore their long sleeve shirts, and that was it. Today they had their long sleeve shirts plus their jackets, but tomorrow they might have to be wearing coats because the weather's supposed to drop enough. It's funny, the weather drops down where they need coats, but then during the afternoon they don't need coats anymore. But they need it just enough because they do go outside and play in the mornings. At least my oldest does. But yeah. This morning was interesting trying to get them to school. We had a system. We have a system and they're not used to this new system. So we just told everyone, sit down, buckle up. Okay, we directed them where they're supposed to sit, and then we handed them their backpacks instead. This morning it was just like it was funny. But man, Sunday we were supposed to put up the last decoration. It's a small decoration. It's Santa's sled and his reindeer. My husband, he's like, I just want to play Final Fantasy, and I let him. I was like, because this guy, he let me play WoW when the new expansion dropped days on end. He let me do that. I can let him play Final Fantasy for when, all day if he wanted to. Not a big deal, But he was still sweet enough because I was just like, hey, what do you want to do? Because what we had plans for dinner was we put a pork butt in the crock pot to cook for dinner, but he put it in the night before. And that was supposed to be dinner. That became lunch instead. Like, what do you want to do about dinner? He goes, I'll do it. I'm like, no, I'll do it. No, he did it, apparently. It's just like, he made pancakes for them. I think it was like peanut butter jelly pancakes or something like that. But then he was so excited about going back on Final Fantasy because they've been having ridiculous queues. So, it's like, he was in, last night, he was in a queue of 7,000 when he started off. And then he's like, I want to go take a shower and get ready. I'm like, okay, I'll keep an eye on the computer for you, because last night I decided I was going to start sewing up again because I got my sewing needles. I ordered my sewing needles. I'm like, okay, I'll keep an eye on it for you while I'm sewing. And that's what I did. I just kept an eye on it, and he got the twins ready for bed. He tucked them in, basically told them to good night. My son, he's not dramatic, but he can be. He likes to accuse his sister, as I mentioned last week, about how she's so dramatic and stuff like that. It was like, but he's like this. Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. Anyway, so what I'm trying to get to, the point. Normally, when he gets tired, he just goes, I'm so tired. I can't sleep. I can't go upstairs. You gotta carry me. No, I don't gotta carry you. No, you can get yourself up there. He'll start acting like he's falling asleep on the floor. He'll flop all over. I'm like, I think I have 2 dramatic kids here. He's taking lessons from his sister. But But yeah, my husband, he got the kids ready for bed. The oldest, she stayed down here with me and restarted her island. She was a little salty about that, and I was sad that, that she was a little mad, but I'm like, it's okay. What I'm going to do is order a I'm going to order the amiibo because I'm getting, I'm trying to think of the word. Oh, because we had a horse named Julian, our villager, that looked like a unicorn, and she was in love with it, and she wants Julian, and I'm like, okay, we'll order Julian for you, because I do that sometimes on certain characters, so I'm gonna get that for her, just so that she can have her horse back, because I got lucky with him. I found him like on the first island that I was like traveling to, and he was like right there. So she's been in love with that villager for the whole time. And then my youngest, she started playing Animal Crossing with her sister because she wants to be like her big sis. And then my son follow suit because he didn't want to be left out. So it's just been like all of them been trying to play. So I'm like, at this point, you'll be the one that has control of the entire island, and then you'll be able to help your brother and sister out too. I don't think she liked that part about the helping her brother and sister out. But yeah, it's just that's what happened. My husband, oh man, my husband came back downstairs ready to play Final Fantasy. Didn't happen. It's still a bit of a queue. And I'm watching as this queue's going down and down and down. He's got kicked out a few times, but if you log in quick enough, your spot in the queue stays until right at the end. He's at, I think it was like 255. I could be wrong. It was definitely in 200. So he gets kicked off. The lobby closes. And he can't get back on. He can't. And he tried. And he tried. He waited, I think, over an hour and a half to get into this. And he couldn't. He was so sad. And he's like, guess I'll just play something else. And that's what he did. He just played something else instead. He didn't want to try and attempt it. He did get to play, he is still playing right now before work starts. He wanted to get in. And it's funny because the queue was only 33 this morning. So he's trying to play a little bit before he starts work. So, but yeah, but going back to where the kids are. So this morning I was like, please don't make a production about it, thanks kids. And they kind of made a little production, but not too bad, because I made a bunch of masks last night. I whittled down the mask all the way. Hold on, let me show you. Let me get the towel out. I'm down to my last 15 masks now. This is what I do. I do prepped work like this. Let me make sure I'm not. Okay, yeah, there. I have prep work like this, so I have just 15 more masks to do. So I'm excited. I can't wait to be done, because I'm just want to put my sewing machine up and not be blocking the way. And my chair squeaks. I tried to oil it. It doesn't want to oil, so it doesn't want to stop squeaking apparently. But oh no, I got fabric on the. Let's pull that out. There we go. But yeah, it's just, I got those bunch of masks done. I've been doing it like by color, so that way it's easier just to get the outline like there, the top stitching in. So I'm not constantly changing the bobbins and stuff like that. But I got so tired because I think I finished at 1 o'clock last night. It was like 1 when I just did, let's see. I did 4 different types of masks with five of us. It's 20. Then I did 21. I did 23 masks last night, and now I'm down to 15. I'm going to take about a day or so break before I go back to that, because the kids have plenty for the week. They're good for the week if I wanted to just wait till the weekend, but I probably will do some on Wednesday night, I think. It's usually really good to do that on night. I have enough light from the sewing machine to help guide me, compared to doing this at night. I like to do this during the day. But yeah, the kids, I'm like, got their new mask. They got the snowflake ones. They were so excited about wearing that. But man, when they tried to get into the car and we were giving them their backpacks and everything, um, it was kind of funny because they were having such a struggle getting out, because you only can get out one way when you're going to the school. You can't go out both side doors. So you only can go in through one way. So them all sliding across trying to get in, trying to get out is funny. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this afternoon when we go pick them up. I don't know if they're going to have trouble because, you know, their backpacks, trying to buckle in, picking up the next kid, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because the twins, we pick them up in one area, then the oldest we pick up in a different area, and from the school. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it is today. But otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. I think I've talked long enough and talked your ear off. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, if you want. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!